Hey guys, Shadow Reviewer here. Well, we're finally here, folks. My final video talking about what I think is the worst Sonic game, Sonic Forces. Is it as bad as everyone talks about it is? Or is it one of those soft-spoken, underrated... It's adorable you think I'm gonna finish that sentence. It is bad. With a few sprinkles of good in it. You'll be surprised to hear what I think about it. So, starting with the positives, I thought the avatar design is a really cool idea. So, they pretty much call him the Rookie, him or her, the Rookie in this game, and creating your own character was a really cool idea. You could pretty much make the character male or female, change the species. It could be a hedgehog, a cat, a dog, a wolf, whatever. You could change the color of the fur, eyes. You can, and as you beat each level, you get new designs, hat, glasses, shirt, bodysuit, even shoes. It was honestly such a really clever and cool design, and when it fits into the cutscenes, it feels real. And even when you finish a level and you get to the results screen, you can even change the pose on how you want your avatar to look. And I think that's a freaking ass cool idea. Why it was introduced this trash heap of a game is beyond me. But hey, at least there were some attempt. And this is honestly one of the few good ones. And my final positive, I actually like the final boss. While it is a copy of the Nega-Wisp armor from Sonic Colors, yes, we know, but it may not outdo the original. I think it's just as good as the original. And I like how all three playstyles are put into this boss. You got classic Sonic, all it has to do is throw balls back at the Death Egg robot. Then you got the Avatar with whatever wisp you have on at the time, taking it down in the middle. And then, of course, you got all three taking it down during the third and final phase. I would talk about the music, but I'll talk about that in a bit. But man, the final boss pretty much nails the ending. It's honestly a pretty kick-ass final boss. Not exactly the best final boss I would talk about, but among the best ones. Maybe in a later video I might do my top 10 favorite final bosses in games, period. And this is actually one of the few decent ones. And there we go, folks. Those are my positives to talk about this game. Let's go into the mixed aspects. Starting with the biggest problem, Infinite. I like his design. I think it's cool. The way the mask fits in, and I do like his voice. Props to his voice actor for doing whatever he can with the crappy script. But one of the biggest problems the character has, his backstory was rushed. In a prequel comic that I never got to see, he was the leader of the Jackal Squad who tried to stop Eggman from conquering the world, but when Infinite got a hold of the Phantom Ruby, he saw a disturbing future. So he decided to team up with Eggman to pretty much conquer the world. But when Shadow took down his Jackal Squad, him included, he decides enough is enough. Yeah, that's all explained in a prequel comic, and not in the game. Although Shadow did kick his butt at the start of episode Shadow, it's still not enough to actually make us sympathize with this character. Again, Infinite cool design, but sloppy backstory. And speaking of Shadow, episode Shadow pretty much adds adds little to nothing in the game. I mean, it was a cool idea to have Shadow his own little mini story, but it's not given enough. 3 levels? Really? How about 5 levels and Infinite as a boss? How cool would that have been? Like, yeah, remember that bit I just mentioned about how Shadow kicked his butt? What if that was a boss battle? That would have been cool. That'd be a nice fitting end to Shadow's story and beginning Sonic's. But nope, we don't even get a boss battle, which is so sadly pathetic. I mean, it is kind of a nice add-on, but it adds little to nothing. Hell, I didn't even know that for years when I purchased the game. So, it adds nothing. Now, speaking of another character, Knuckles. I do like he plays a bigger part than the rest of the side characters. I'll get to that. But he's not playable. Why is he not playable? I mean, he's the freaking commander in this game. He should be at least playable. A level can't hurt. So yeah, he plays a bigger part, but he's not playable, and that annoys me. Now we've got the music. Well, I like the music in the Sonic games, except Sonic Chronicles. This one is 50-50. Now, I will give the game this. Some of the music actually do work. There are 3 that I freaking love. Firstly, the final boss theme. The Death Egg Robot Phase 3 freaking slaps. It is a beautiful song. I love the orchestra and the choir bit at the end. Chef's kiss. The second one, Fist Bump. As I mentioned during my interview with Arsenal Pyramid, both in the combo and levels ranking, how Fist Bump pretty much, well, got me pumping up, singing along. We show you what we can do. You and me and I'm next to you. Push on through until the battle's won. There's no more thing to us. With each other we put our trust. Standing united after the fight is done. So yeah, kick-ass song, and it's pretty much a teamwork song that you could put in. And third and favorite final song, Infinite's theme. While we never see a full version of it in the game, it is only played a little bit. The full version is metal as hell, and I love it. It shows how cool Infinite looks, and it just slaps. If you want to listen to it, it's called Infinite's theme, and it is awesome. The rest of the music, however, is crap. And if you've watched my levels ranking or Classic Sonic's levels, some of the music can either be passable to downright ear-bleeding. Green Hill especially. What is that awful remix? Jesus! I mean, what was that? Yeah. Apart from those 3 kick-ass songs, the rest of it is just, oh my god! What is that? The levels is another big problem with the game. They are way too damn short. You get no satisfaction, nothing that makes us want to replay it, except for some of the challenges. I'll get to that. But there's no replayability to it. Except if you're going for the challenge, I'll get to that. But yeah, there's no point in playing these levels. Hell, you could beat this game in like under 2 hours and you get no satisfaction. The bosses are 50-50. There are only 3 good bosses. The final boss, the final battle with Infinite, and Sonic vs. Infinite. So those are the only 3 good bosses in the game. The rest of them are either passable or they are Dragoon. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about that thing ever again. And those are my mixed aspects. Now on to the negatives. Screw this game. Good night. Okay, I'm kidding. Okay, so there's a few add-on bits that add absolutely nothing. Okay, Episode Episode Shadow, I get why that's free. You get Supersonic. No purpose. I guess it's to make the game easier, but you make it pointless. Hell, Supersonic doesn't even play a part in the final fight. Imagine how cool would it be if the Avatar went super. Kinda think about it. How cool would it be with the two Supersonics and Super Avatar taking down the Negative Armor? How cool would that be? So freaking cool. But nope, Supersonics added it in and it adds nothing. Nothing. Oh, and speaking of wasted wondrous opportunities, the side characters do absolutely nothing. I mean, Shadow, I get. Knuckles plays a bit. I mean, he's the commander, for God's sake. But the rest of them, Amy, Silver, Rouge, Omega, the Chaotix, add nothing. They're just mindless fluff and annoyances every time you play a level. They add nothing. I guess it's supposed to build up the resistance, but play a bit, damn it! Now, remember I said how levels have pretty much no fun replayability? The challenges. They're either too easy, passable, or downright ridiculous. Oh, and speaking of ridiculous, the red rings. Once again, fine, passable, or downright hard. And if you've watched my levels ranking, then you know how I feel about it. They pretty much add either some extra levels that are optional, get extra outfits, or just do nothing. Yeah, they don't even make it fun, it's just there. Now to the story. The story is pretty much basic as possible. Very basic. It's just the Resistance versus Eggman versus trying to restore the world and nature and all that. But there's no add-ons or subtlety or hell, even good storytelling. It's just there. I mean, it's not even a good story. I mean, the original games had no story, but at least you could follow them. This one is just so bland. So bland. Oh, and let's talk about the biggest stuff. I'll start with the character that I think is butchered the most, Tails. So pretty much after Sonic gets his butt whooped by Infinite, Tails goes nuts. And what by nuts is totally pretty useless. Once again, he is not playable. Oh, and that infamous scene where Chaos shows up, I'll get to him. Tails pretty much stands in the corner acting like a coward. What happened to the kick-ass Tails from the earlier games? I mean, but Jesus, Tails, are you kidding me? They butchered Sonic's best friend and made him a wimp. I know he's 8 years old, writers, but come on! The original Tails is much braver than this one. Wow, what a wuss. And speaking of the villains, yeah, they're not actually the villains, guys. You know, like Zavok, Chaos, Metal. They're illusions created by Infinite. What? False advertising. You promised in the trailer returning villains, and they're illusions. That's a pretty big screw you to the fans. Thankfully, later games actually, use them. Absolute insult. And speaking of the character that was pretty much threw in as fan service, Classic Sonic. Now, Human Generations, I buy that. But in Forces, he adds little to nothing to the plot. I mean, he adds literally nothing. You could take him out and it would not change the story at all. Oh, my God. I mean, he has probably the worst gameplay in the game. I mean, he is slow, it is annoying, and... well, he doesn't have the worst levels. Some of them can either be passable to downright... oh. So yeah, Classic Sonic pretty much adds nothing to the story. Except for the one time he saves Tails, which, by the way, why Tails? So yeah, absolutely terrible. And to think this game was in 4 years of development hell. That's a pretty bad sign. As you can tell, this game is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I mean, the game pretty much is too easy to play. Just so easy to play. And that's the... Is it bad? Yes. Is it 100% bad? No. It has a few sprinkles of good in there. A few sprinkles. But it's still a terrible game. Yes. Worse than Sonic R6, Sonic Chronicles, and Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric combined. At least those games had some level of different. I mean, Sonic R6 was the punching bag, but with a good story, good animation, and pretty good character lineup. Sonic Boom had freaking great comedy most of the time, but at least it was there, and Lyric was a good villain. Sonic Chronicles is terrible, and the music in there is awful, but at least there was some multiple playable characters you can play. Sonic Forces has none of those things. It doesn't have good animation. Its villains were wasted. It's not funny. Oh, and speaking of which, the lines in this are awful. I mean, Sandhill, Green Hill's looking like a Sandhill right now. It's been generations since I've seen you. So freaking bad. And it doesn't have fun replayability. This game is awful. Awful. To think you have to pay $50 for this game. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And that's the end of the video, folks. I hope you like it. Give me a thumbs up, like and comment and subscribe, and I hope to get more videos out like this. Thank God this game's good. Thank God I don't have to talk about Sonic Forces anymore. I mean, I played really good games in the past, but at least I had to get one bad game out of this. Just one. And this one is terrible. Thank God it's over. I'll be back on the Mako Mermaids train with Season 1, Episode 5, Blizzard. Keep an eye out for that video. Until then, I'm the Shadow Reviewer. Thank God this is over.